Taiwan wasn't just a strategic ally anymore, it was a symbol of democracy's triumph over authoritarianism. And that makes abandoning Taiwan almost impossible for Washington. How could the United States, the self-proclaimed guarantor of the liberal world order, stand by and watch as an authoritarian power crushed a democratic one? The stakes are now higher than ever, not just for Taiwan, but for the credibility of the US as a global leader. But across the strait, Beijing sees Taiwan in a very different light. For the Communist Party, this tiny island represents more than just a geopolitical struggle. It's a living reminder of past humiliations and a direct threat to China's current security and worldview. The stakes are now higher than ever, not just for Taiwan, but for the credibility of the US as a global leader. But across the strait, Beijing sees Taiwan as far more than a political inconvenience. To the Communist Party, this island's continued defiance represents an existential threat. Taiwan's de facto independence isn't just a thorn in China's side, it challenges the very foundation of Beijing's authority and its grip on power. Taiwan's continued separation from the Communist Party's authoritarian rule sends a dangerous message to the Chinese people. Maybe they don't need to be ruled with an iron fist after all, and that idea is a direct threat to Xi Jinping's vision for China. Xi has made it his mission to support authoritarian regimes around the world, creating an alternative world order to rival the liberal, democratic ideals the United States promotes. Taiwan in particular stands in stark contrast to this vision. Its cultural, ethnic, and historical ties with the mainland should make it an easy target for assimilation, but Taiwan's values and independence tell a very different story. For Xi, Taiwan's defiance is a serious problem. It's not just about geography, it's about China's pride, security, and the Communist Party's claim to legitimacy. If Taiwan can succeed as an independent, democratic nation, what does that say to the people of China? What does it mean for Xi's promise of national rejuvenation and ending the century of humiliation? On the other side, the United States has its own reasons for keeping Taiwan out of China's hands. Preserving the status quo in the Taiwan Strait is crucial for America's role as the defender of a liberal world order, an order built on the sovereignty of nation-states with clear, independent borders. If Taiwan falls, that entire system could start to unravel. That's probably why, even though Taiwan might not have official borders, the United States has invested a significant amount of its national prestige in acting like they exist. A loss of the Taiwanese democracy would certainly prompt fears in the Philippines, South Korea, and Japan that they could no longer rely on the United States to defend them from an authoritarian China. Further to the south, at the end of the first island chain, Indonesia would likely find itself further aligned with China, while up to now it's attempted to hedge its bets with both sides. One could argue that notions of prestige and saving face don't amount to much in a potential conflict with a nuclear-armed power. After all, the United States made similarly vague